the gauntlet bracer thingy. So what I did, I just cut out a big rectangle and then beveled the edges with the Dremel. You can use, again I said, you can use sandpaper. And then I cut out circles and then cut them in half and then just glued them a bit separate from each other to give it this screw rivet thingy effect. And then I used heat. I just passed it over a cooker and then bent it so that it can have this nice bent shape. Just wait for it to cool before you let it go so that it can set like this. And then I just did the same thing I did with the shoulder piece. I just primed it with wood glue 4 layers and then spray painted normal black spray paint, and then took a sponge with some pewter paint on it and then dabbed across to give it this aged weathered look. Just dab on it, and then you can use Velcro for attachments. It's really cheap. You can get it at Nairobi Textiles. I bought mine at I think 200 for 2 meters, I think. But yeah, it's really cheap. And then how you want the length of Velcro to use really depends on you. Just measure it on yourself, the length you want, and then you'll figure it out. You're smart. You loyal. Another one. For the elbow, just basically did this for the pattern. I basically did the same thing I did for the shoulder. I just drew my elbow out and then just drew the design of the elbow piece I wanted, and then just glued it together, heated the pieces up and then glued them together. And then these bolts I used soda bottle lids. You can even see the Fanta thingy. I was like, hey, if you're in a apocalyptic place, you're gonna use anything to make bolts. So, Fanta, product placement. Yeah, and again, use Velcro to attach. I also made his belt buckle that looks like a number plate, but I didn't use it because I didn't know how to attach it then. I was in a rush. So I just took a piece of foam and cut it into a rectangle, and then used thinner foam for this detail over here. And then I used whiteout to write this part. And you can attach it the way you want. You can use hot glue to stick it in a belt that you're going to be wearing. If you don't like your belt, that is. You can use sellotape or duct tape, whichever suits you. And I basically did the same thing. It should be a song now. And you just bevel the edges, and then you prime it with wood glue. This fuse just used for layers, and then you paint it with black spray paint, and then you spray, and then you take a sponge, and then you take your pewter paint, and then you dab it all over to give it that weathering look. Now for the knee pieces, this is like my favorite part of the costume. Actually, looks really cool. Yeah, I just cut out a circle on the thicker foam, and then on the thinner foam, I drew out this skull thingy, and then cut it out with a box cutter. That you know that doohickey I'm talking about. And then I just glue it on with contour, and then yeah, it's now a song. It's a song. So I just I primed it, spray painted it, and took a sponge with the pewter paint and then just dabbed it all over. And then make sure on the high places, like on the ridges like here, to make sure the silver paint is like concentrated there to give it that highlight. So yeah, there's that. Same thing I did with this one. And of course, attachments. Just basically Velcro. You'll know how much Velcro you'll need. Just need to measure it on yourself and then glue it on. I made this chain, the chain hook. So I basically, you know that foam and that's on the mat in gyms and for kids. I basically took that. It's about a centimeter to a centimeter and a half thick. So I basically like cut out a square shape with one side, and then I beveled the edges using my Dremel, and then I was too lazy, or rather I didn't have enough time, and I was also lazy to coat this in wood glue. So what I just did, I BS'd my way through it and I just took duct tape and then just covered it completely with duct tape, and then painted the black on top with the sponge. Just make sure for the soft strokes to give you that streaky metallic look. For the black, you just take the paint, make sure it dries a bit, and then apply a bit of pressure at the beginning of the stroke as you go lighter outside the stroke. Over here, you will see it clearly nicely. It's that thick with a lot of pressure, and then end with less pressure. For this nail thingy, for this part, I just cut out triangles and then wrapped them in duct tape, and then here I just painted it black, and then yeah, I added the black paint down here, and then here I just cut out a triangle and then attached it with duct tape and painted. You can even see like the duct tape. I was wearing gloves, and the gloves like scraped the paint off the hook, But yeah, then here I drilled a hole using a bit from my Dremel. You can just, I don't know what you can use other than the Dremel. You can use something circular that's hollow and then use a lot of pressure and cut it through. I don't know how that will work, but I'd suggest that if you don't have a Dremel. And then I got this chain from Nakumat for about 300 bob, and it's about 9 to 10 feet long, and I just fed it through and then attached it using sellotape. I told you I BS'd my way through this hook. Then I came to the spool. Yeah, sorry for the mess here. Just for attachment purposes. But then for this, I used foam and lids from a tin of sweets that I really like, Simpkins. What I did, I just made this paddle shape out of foam, and then the song. I just cut this paddle shape off, and then where did I hang? I just did the thingy. I just primed it, spray painted it, and took a sponge and dabbed the pewter paint on it to give it this metallic look. Then I attached the lid for the sweets here and painted it black. I wanted to have that oily look, like it's greased up. And then for this part of this, the part that the chain loops around, I made it out of a toilet paper roll, and then I just mixed the black and pewter together, and then I rolled the chain around it and then attached it with sellotape. You could use your own thing to attach it so that it doesn't fall off, but this is what I used. Yeah. And then for here I had a fragrance crayon that was done. So I just super glued on. So super glue is really strong, and because this was meant to support this entire weight, I decided to use super glue there, and then just painted it black. Yeah, that's how I made this. And then I attached it using sellotape on a belt hook. Speaking of belts, the pants, I wore these pants. Yeah, and that's how you make Roadhog. So like if you liked it, subscribe if you loved it, yay. But still, yeah, subscribe and then share it. You know, any other friends would like to make Roadhog, and share this video or share it around your fellow cosplayers. If you want me to do more videos like this, please let me know in the comment section. If you have any questions, also let me know in the comment section. If you want me to do walkthroughs, like as I make a costume, I make videos and show you guys how I'm doing it step by step, also let me know. And yeah, like, share, and subscribe. Bye.
white.
Liar.
Everyone, that's
Black don't crack.
That's my secret. This whole time I've been white.
You're an Oreo.
Yes, I'm an Oreo.
You know what that means, yeah?
Black on the outside, white on the inside.
Just confirming.
Connie, how dumb do you think I am?
Do you really want the answer to that question?
Okay, let's just start.